Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
Okay, well, this is a great morning. We have so many, such good guests, especially this morning, I have to say. And right now, I'm going to be sharing with you Dr. Jeffrey Raines. He's president of a company called Soteria. And Soteria Medical is fascinating. I had a privilege of going down to their office in Kendall, and I was just in disbelief because his work has the hallmarks of, you know what? You're here. I'm going to let you tell everybody about it. So Dr. Raines, in brief, if this were an elevator speech, as you know, you go from the 10th floor down, if someone said, yes, you're a physician, but what actually do you do? Why don't you tell our audience?
My field of interest for over 40 years has been in vascular surgery and vascular diagnosis for all forms of cardiovascular disease. My earlier work was primarily in peripheral vascular disease, but today I have put a lot of interest into coronary artery disease, and specifically atherosclerosis, which affects both the peripheral and the central arterial beds.
Your credentials are sterling, and you could have been anything and done anything. What led you to Soteria? Why? I mean, I could figure it out, but explain to people why you have spent so many years now working on this.
Here's the real reason. Of course, peripheral vascular disease is challenging as well. But when you look at the larger picture of atherosclerosis, we find the following. We have in the United States approximately 320 million people. It's probably a little more than that because that's from the 2010 census. Every year, from all causes, whether or not it's death on the highway, cancer, infections, cardiovascular disease, 2 million people die. And of the 2 million people that die, over 1 million of them, 52%, die of one disease. And that one disease is atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis means, athero means regarding artery, sclerosis means deterioration of. So it's deterioration of the artery. Responsible for 52% of all deaths. Every year in the United States, and this has been true since more than 45 years, that 52% number holds true. Today, every year, 600,000 people die of myocardial infarction, heart attack. 280,000 die of cerebral vascular accident, which is stroke, and 130,000 die of peripheral vascular disease. With the 2 million total deaths, you add those three up, it's over 1 million. That's where we get to 52%. That's the emphasis. If you had to pick a disease that has tremendous effect, there it is.
Yeah, I look at you and he has this beautiful face smile as he talks about it because I know you can see it, and he says it shouldn't be because doctors can now assess people's situation. And so let's just say, because, we don't have a lot of time on this right now, but I do want to get people to know that you have invented a product, right? Talk about that and why, with all these statistics you just described, why we could save a lot of these people.
Here's the reason. We've been working on this for many years, and I'm not alone in this process. We worked with 4 medical universities in the United States and 2 in Europe. We literally did thousands of patients to assess this for the NIH and for the FDA. But on May 31st, 2014, we were cleared by the FDA for a national launch of this device. It's a method for accurately and non-invasively being able to identify how stiff the arterial wall is. Stiffness of the arterial wall is the main pathophysiology change that occurs in atherosclerosis. We have a fortunate situation in that we can make that measurement, how stiff the wall is, what its elasticity is, in the lower extremity. Those arteries. And those arteries mirror very nicely what's going on in the coronary bed. And that's because the arterial wall in the coronary arteries are made up of the same proteins that we find in the lower extremity. So we're able to make that measurement non-invasively in the lower extremity and be able to use that as a mirror to the more difficult situation regarding the coronary arteries themselves.
I have to tell you, and I did explain this to you when I first heard about you, and and we all know now everyone's doing YouTubes and you can get on the web and watch things. And 2 minutes after I watched it, it's over. Well, not with yours. I'll never forget when I was given your name and given this whole process, the Soteria. I was glued for 30 minutes. I never stopped. I could not believe your PowerPoint presentation is extraordinary. And it's because, and I realize now, you do something that is, it's not been heard about very much. And the big problem is we have to get what you do out to doctors so that they can help their patients. So that's what my goal for you is. And thank goodness Dr. Raines will be at the Boomer Expo. He will be there with his beautiful wife, Gloria, and maybe some other people, but they're going to be there. And will you actually be able to show people your system while they're there?
Yes.
Great.
We'll be able to show it.
So make sure I have him in a special spot. You're going to be able to go and meet Dr. Raines and see what he's doing, because if your doctor doesn't have the equipment, it's going to be up to you to get your doctor to talk to them and get it. You will be saving so many people's lives. And, and it's interesting because at this stage of life for you, you've been really a practicing physician for so many years. Now, this should be the most exciting part. You've pulled it all together. This is the way I'm thinking about you. You've pulled it all together to now say, here, I'm going to give you something. How does that sound?
Well, I thank you very much for that. You're right about that. I'm going to be 74 in September.
Just a chicken. That's okay.
Just like it. And the Lord's been very good to both my wife and myself, so we're very happy about that. What we're trying to do is to identify people that are at risk for atherosclerosis, and then we know things that we can do that can change the trajectory. We're trying to reduce cardiovascular morbidity and mortality. I think that summarizes it. We wish we had a magic bullet. We don't for atherosclerosis, but we have a lot of things we can do that can change that course.
Okay, so then that was my next question. So now you have a doctor that has now your equipment to be able to do this for their patients. Once they find that out, what would they then do with their patient?
They have to look and correlate whatever cardiovascular risk factors are present or are underlying with the degree of disease that the person has. And then they have to be very aggressive, if disease is present, in reducing those risk factors, because that's the only thing that's going to change the ultimate outcome. In other words, their morbidity associated with cardiovascular disease or their mortality with cardiovascular disease. And they have to monitor the success of whatever therapy is provided.
So in your capacity, though, as the inventor and the person who's working on this, do you work with the doctor and help them? Let's say they have cases. Are you someone that they're going to be able to talk with about it?
They can talk with me, but
as a consultant in some way.
But of course they can talk to me, and they do. But we provide. There's a lot of literature on the subject, and it's provided by organizations like the American Heart Association and many others, the NIH. We have put together a document which we call Soteria Cardiac Platform after the results. And this, I've sort of pulled together everything that I know and has been documented and has been published and put it into a guideline form that we believe that most physicians can read and understand and be able to do something with. We're trying to identify these patients at risk at an early stage. That's why we've focused mostly on primary care, family medicine, and internal medicine with physicians that are interested in cardiovascular disease.
And we're going to try to help you with this. I want to just repeat, this is Dr. Jeffrey Raines, Raines, and the company is Soteria, Soteria Med. Let me just give you a way to get on the website. It's go to soteriamed.net. Soteria Med. Let's see, let me do it. SOTERIAMED.net. And let me give you a phone number. If you want to call, it's 305-595-4447. I'll repeat that, 305-595-4447. Now, although Dr. Raines is his field is cardiology and that's what he's practiced, that's not, the call is to get your doctors to call him, because that's the way you can't just go and call him and get the test. He does this with physicians. So that phone number is perfect for you to hand to your physician and say, please find out about this because I want to get tested. Isn't that right?
That's exactly correct. And all the information that you gave is also correct.
Good. Well, Dr. Raines came up here. He lives in Homestead, and he came to our show early this morning, and he's very enthusiastic about this. You know, when you've practiced medicine for many, many years, you want to feel like you've really done more than just seen patients, and not all doctors get a chance to do this, but you've invested a lot of time and energy and money in this, haven't you? How many years have you been working on this?
We started this more than 20 years ago.
Oh, my gosh, that's like, oh, heavens. Well, I'm so glad we found you, because we're going to try to make that dream a reality and get people to really get better, not die, get the physicians on their toes with this. So many people don't know about this.
That is exactly right, and it's a tremendous challenge. There are so many targets. Can you imagine? Every internal medicine, family practice, right, and general practice office is a target for this. How do you get that out?
We're going to keep you very busy. It's a good start. The radio's a good start. We're going to have you writing articles in Boomer Times, but the Boomer Expo is another very good way. So we're glad that you're at least opening it up now, getting out of your office in Kendall and putting the energy out into South Florida.
We have to do that.
So we are about to run out of time, but thank you, and we'll have you back again.